Hello everyone and welcome to Azam Sharp Weekly. Hey everyone and welcome to Azam Sharp Weekly. In one of my last lectures and videos, I actually discussed that how you can present a modal by simply clicking a button. And one of the comments on the video was that, okay, that's great, but how would I display a modal when you are actually displaying a list? So let's see how we can do that. In order to display the list, I should have some sort of an element. So I've already created an array of animals which have emojis of different animals. And the first question is, how do I even display this in the list? So that's pretty simple. You're going to use a list over here, the list control, and I can use a for each feature over here, and I can go from 0 till the end of animals.count. Great. And in this way, I'm going to get access to the index, and I can simply pass in the index to the animals array and get that particular animal. So I can say animals and passing in the index. Now let's go ahead and try again over here by refreshing Xcode. And what are we saying over here? Okay, so we need to put a self over here. I forgot that. And make sure I will also put a self over here just to make everything consistent. And now you can see all the animals are being displayed. Animals are way too small, so let's go ahead and set some sort of a custom font over here for them, Arial size, and we'll give it a different size, maybe let's say 100 to see the big size animals. Great. Now I also want to show a different name over here, not the actual name of the animal because I don't want to create another array or create objects. I'm just going to say animal 1, animal 2, and animal 3, and so on. So in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and create a horizontal stack and put the text that we have inside there. So now I can create a new text, and this can say animal, and then we'll simply go ahead and display the index for that animal. So 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Great. So now we have animals displayed. Now the question actually is that if I go ahead and select some animal, let's say a giraffe, how can I, first of all, pass this value to another view that is displayed in a modal? All right. So that's the question. Well, the first question actually is, how do I even collect this value when I touch giraffe or camel or a mouse or a tiger? Well, we're going to go ahead and add a tap action over here, tap action, on the horizontal stack itself. And inside the tap action, we should know the actual index of the element because we're still inside a loop, but we need some place to store the selected animal, whether you are trying to get the animal image or you want to get the animal index. Most probably I'm interested in the image, all right, which is stored in an array. So I'm going to go over here and create a state property, which will be a private property or a private state for this particular content view. And I'm going to say selected animal. And this will be a string because all the animals are actually string inside the array. The other thing to note at this particular point is that I am actually using the latest version of Xcode Beta 4. So the code that we're going to type in to display a sheet, meaning a modal, is going to be using the latest features from Xcode 11 Beta 4. So inside the tab action, I can simply go ahead and say self.selectedAnimal equals to, and I already have access to the animals, so I'm going to say animals and the selected index. All right. Now the question is, how do we show a modal? If you go ahead and add dot presentation over here, which is now obsolete, so you should be using dot sheet, which is going to be displaying a modal sheet. You shouldn't be doing it over here because this is still part of the loop. So even if I do it right over here, it's going to create different presentations. You only want to create one single presentation. So in this case, I can actually simply attach it to the outermost control, which in this case is a list. And over here I can say sheet. Now the sheet is going to take in a couple of different things. The first thing is presented, which is a bindable property. So we don't have that property, so let's go ahead and create that. I'm going to go ahead and say state private var show modal, which is of type boolean, and we're going to go ahead and initialize it with false. Now that we have a bindable state property, we can actually use the state again. So I can say sheet, and now I have the isPresented property. I'm simply going to pass in the show modal property. And for the content, is the content or the view or the modal that you want to display. I just want to say right now, just hello world, just to see that if it even works or not. Let's go ahead and press the try again button on the live view. And once everything is built up correctly, I'm going to go ahead and play the live view. All right, we're back again. The Xcode 11 beta 4 is actually crashing way more than I expected it to be, but it's literally crashing every single time I press a live view. Now, if I go ahead and click on any of these things, you can see it's not really doing anything. So what's going on? The problem is that the modal is only presented if the show modal property is actually true. But you can see over here, the show modal property is initialized to false. So somehow we need to toggle it when we actually click the button. Well, that's pretty simple. We can simply say self.showModal.toggle. And that should toggle the property between true and false. Let's go ahead and build our application now. Now we'll click on the live view to run the application. And now if I click on any of this, you can see the modal is definitely showing up. Although it's showing hello world, but it's definitely showing up. That's great. We already have collected the animal over here on line number 28 into self.animal. So the only thing you need to do is to simply pass that animal. So self.selectedAnimal. Once we have the selected animal, I'm going to apply the same styling to it because I want this to be a little bit bigger in size. Actually, I'm going to say, go ahead and say 200 as the size. And now we can actually go ahead and run this and see if the animal is actually being displayed. So now you can see that whenever we select a particular animal, we are taken to that particular view and we can see the selected animal. This is great, and you can see that it's not that complicated to build. If you have enjoyed this video and want to check out more videos on SwiftUI development, then check out my Udemy course, which is SwiftUI Declarative Interfaces for any Apple device. This is a 6-hour plus course, and I'm still working on some other amazing content for this course, and it's going to take you and teach you everything you need to know about building your amazing SwiftUI applications. You can see that it doesn't only cover SwiftUI development, but also shows you how you can use the MVVM design pattern in your application. It also dives into gestures, property wrappers, forms, and so much more. So if you want to learn SwiftUI development, this is your best course. You can see it's actually highest rated course with 400 plus students enrolled. Now, here's the deal. Go ahead and click on the link in the description. There's a link in the description that will give you instant discount, the best price available for this course. And to be really honest, the link, if you click on the link and apply the coupon, it's going to help me a lot. If you use my coupon, which is right in the YouTube description, I get to keep the 90%. Basically, the course is $10 anyways, so I get to keep 90% of that. If you use a different approach to buy the course, that's perfectly fine also, but in that case, I only get to keep 10%. So if you want to support my work, please always use the coupons that are in the YouTube description. Here's another deal. I have a lot of courses on Udemy, so maybe you're interested in something else like ARKit or even NodeJS or blockchain programming, machine learning. I have a lot of courses, even a course on MVVM design pattern also, because if you're using SwiftUI, you better learn MVVM design pattern because that's a recommended pattern to use when you're building SwiftUI applications. So all the courses are still there. Just click on the link in the description. A coupon will be applied and you will get the best deal. Thank you so much for your continuous support. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments.